When we talk of Sharia, this is the most comprehensive subject in Islam, which includes Islam, Iman and Ihsan. When we talk of Iman, faith, the science which deals with the basic tenets of faith, the science, the arguments, the evidences, and the detailed knowledge of the basic tenets of faith, basic articles of faith, along with its arguments and evidences. This leads us to the science of Aqidah, the science which deals with the subject of Iman in detail, becomes ultimately the science of Aqidah, al-Aqidah, ilmul aqaid. Because Iman deals with the tenets of faith. Then Islam, according to the Hadith of Gabriel, as Holy Prophet ﷺ answered the question asked by Sayyidina Gabriel about Islam, then about Iman and about Ihsan. So as differentiated by Holy Prophet ﷺ himself, and mentioned and reported by Sayyidina Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim, Islam contained the subject of the acts based on the commandments of Almighty Allah and His Holy Prophet. Science which deals with the acts of Sharia, ilmul Islam, ultimately becomes ilmul fiqh, ilmul ahkam. The science of theology is based on the knowledge of Iman, of the details of Iman. The science of fiqh is based on the knowledge, based on ilm of Islam. And in the same way, Ihsan, which is the spiritual excellence, this is the spiritual excellence of Iman and Islam. The perfection of Islam lies in Iman, and perfection of Iman lies in Ihsan. Islam is the beginning, al-bidayah, Islam. Iman is al-wasat. And Ihsan is nihaya, is the end. Islam deals with refining the outward life through pious acts. Iman deals with firmness and stability of Islam in your heart and in your spirit and in your inward personality. So Iman deals, in Holy Quran it is stated, when the people who used to come from villages, they said that Amanna. Almighty Allah said, you can't say Amanna. Don't say we have believed in. You say just we have embraced Islam, because Iman has not entered into your hearts. If the obedience and submission controls the body, if obedience to Almighty Allah's commandment, and if the obedience to submission to Almighty Allah, submission to Almighty Allah's will and command, if this controls, this obedience and submission controls our outward life, our body, this becomes inqiyad and istislam and at-ta'ah. This is Islam. And if our heart and our soul and our spirit This is controlled by the obedience to Almighty Allah and submission to Almighty Allah. This obedience and submission enters into heart and changes the inward condition of human personality. This becomes Iman. So Islam is already included in Iman. That's why every mu'min is a Muslim. But every Muslim is not a mu'min. That's why we say we embraced Islam. We never say we embraced Iman. Because embracing is the first act of beginning, where we start from. And the act of beginning is Islam, to submit apparently, to declare your submission from your tongue. So this submission is an outward submission known as Islam. When this submission becomes a condition, becomes a state of your heart, of your soul, and of your mind, and of your spirit, it is deepened in our personality. It travels from our zahir to our batin. It travels from outward to inward. Only then we become a mu'min. That's why every mu'min is a Muslim, but every Muslim is not a mu'min. Muslim is the beginner, and mu'min is the traveler. When you become mu'min, so then Islam achieves its perfection. Islam achieves its perfection in Iman. Then Iman also requires its perfection. Where Iman would be able to achieve its perfection. Iman is a state where Islam is attaining its perfection. But now, after achieving the state of Iman, Iman also requires some perfection. So the station where Iman achieves perfection is known as Ihsan. Ihsan is a state of heart. And this Ihsan is contained into two states. Either the state of vigilance or the state of vision, witnessing. Either you are in the state of muraqabah, this is your vigilance. Or you are in the state of mushahada. This is witnessing the beauty of your Lord. Vision of the beauty and light of Almighty Allah. So this state of heart, this state of soul, and this state of spirit, which is known as Ihsan, when you entered into the valley of Ihsan, Iman is perfected. In the same way as Islam was perfected when it entered into the valley of Iman. So the subject and the science which discusses the basis of Ihsan, the prerequisites of Ihsan, the details of Ihsan, the conditions of Ihsan, various states and stations of Ihsan, developmental stages of Ihsan. So that subject and science which discusses Ihsan in detail ultimately is known as ilmul tasawwuf and ilmul suluk and ilmul tariqa and ilmul ma'rifah and ilmul haqiqah. So ilmul aqidah is nothing but a science based on Iman. And ilmul fiqh is nothing but a science based on the articles of Islam. In the same way, at-tasawwuf and at-tariqa and al-haqiqa is nothing but a science based on the basic tenets of Ihsan.